I want to thank everyone for making this year possible. We've given away in grants $400,000, $1,265,000 in our first 5 years. We've supported 51 organizations in those 5 years and 34 this year. And believe me, there is a number of organizations out there that we would love to also help if we could get more residents involved in the charity. We're happy with where we are, and we just look forward to the future of getting more and more BallenIsles people involved and being able to support more and more of these wonderful organizations. Thanks very much for everything, what everyone does.
Quantum House takes care of families who have children in town for a serious medical condition. What BallenIsles Charity has done for us today is help us care for those families. You've helped to give them a place to sleep, meals to have, even a place to do their laundry. So thank you to all the members of the Grants Committee, to your sponsors, and everybody that was involved in this opportunity. So thank you.
And we would like to thank the BallenIsles Charity Foundation and the Grants Committee for all of their work this past year and years before this to help so many charities, and we're just delighted to be a part of it this year, and we're very grateful. This will help us with the temporary emergency financial needs of service-connected disabled veterans who have been fighting in our wars and conflicts since 9/11. So it goes to a good cause, and we want to get them on their feet and with a job and moving forward. So thank you very much.
This support is just so helpful in us promoting literacy and helping our kids advance in their reading. The grant helps with providing the Reading Plus program that we work after school with the inner city kids, and teaching them to read is just going to help them be better citizens in the long run. So thanks again. We really appreciate your support.
We provide a variety of services, experiences, equipment, benefits to the students and the school, and we couldn't do this without the support of organizations like yours. We are so grateful for the grant. This year it is funding interactive projectors, which are placed in the English and the Spanish department classrooms, and they're really cool, they're state-of-the-art, and they're so helpful to the students and the teachers at Suncoast, and we thank you so much.
I'd like to welcome everyone and say hello. My name is Fred Corrado. I'm the president and a member of the board of directors of the Charity Foundation. And we welcome you all to the 5th annual Grants Award Ceremony. And this is what it is really all about. We do have fun at our events. We do have fun getting members of the community to contribute. But what it's really all about is raising as much money as possible so that we can help so many worthy organizations in northern Palm Beach County. And we really do salute you for what you do. We're here to help you, but you're the ones that do all the great work. With me today are the members of our board of directors who I'd like to introduce you to. Jack Cook, stand up. You can wave at me, but they don't know you. Jack Cook. Okay. We got George Wicker. We got Jerry Cecil. We have Mary Ann Champlin, Mark Freeman in the back, and myself, and not with us today is Ken Seifer, who is in New Jersey getting some medical issues dealt with. So we all wish Ken the best luck. Also with us today are a number of our great volunteers who bring all of our dreams about what we'd like to do to a reality. So if they're in the room, would any of you that are in the room please stand up and let's acknowledge you, because you do all the great work. Thank you all for what you do. And I'd also like to recognize the members of the country club staff and the members of the community association staff who work so diligently to help us get all of this put together from the first day of thinking about it until we get to this day where we can give away some wonderful grants. So thank you. If you're not here, You'll hear from me again, but we like to thank everyone. This year, we're giving away $400,000 to 34 worthy organizations. That's almost half of what we gave away in the first 4 years, combined. In our 5 years, our first 5 years, we've given away $1,265,000 to very worthy organizations, a little bit more than 50 organizations in the community. Our goal is to support local not-for-profits and civic organizations. And most of them, as you well know, those of you who are here who represent those organizations, most of them fly under the radar. No one really knows about what they do, or very few people know what they do. But what they do, they are the angels of help in the community. They do the great work, and we're just so pleased that we could just be a small part of helping them out. So, we just thank you for what you do. I'm very pleased that with the help of our donors and our sponsors, that we have been able to accomplish what we've accomplished in the first 5 years. We could have never done it without the donors, without the sponsors, without all the support of the people I've tried to recognize today. So we just look forward to an even greater year next year and a greater remainder of our first decade, because we have everywhere, the only place we have to go is up. And that's what we're looking at, is to just do better. So I'll close by telling you that if we raised twice as much money as we raised this year, we would still not be able to fund all of the very worthy organizations in our local area who do such good work. So our main objective has to be for the future to make more people aware of the need and to get them involved and get them to feel good about what this foundation does. So again, thank you, and I'm going to turn the podium over to Bob Anton, who is going to moderate the rest of the day.
Thank you, Fred. It's a little like being at home. Every room I go into, there's a pair of glasses. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the board of the foundation. They allow the grants committee to operate reasonably independent. We take everything to the board. We ensure that the board knows what it is we're going to be recommending. But in the 3 years I've been affiliated with the grants committee, I've really appreciated the fact that with the work the grants committee does, the board recognizes that and really will ask questions and all the right questions, but not try to steer us away from any of our recommendations unless it's really obvious. But that has not happened, which I'm even more happy about. Okay, so thank you to the board. This is a time when I'd like to just call upon the grants committee that are here today and say thank you, because it's a group of 12. It starts in the summer and it ends at the end of November, pretty much, with 2 meetings a week during the months of October and November. So this is a pretty dedicated group, and I think they make the right decisions. They talk openly amongst us. We share all of our concerns or all of our opinions about each one of the grant applications that comes across the committee. So with that, I would like to ask them to stand up and just stay standing for a moment. Lana Anka, who could not be with us today because of travel, Nancy Barron, Pat Caruso, Ron Graceman, Dan Goldwasser, Jan Joy, Joan Mobley, Carol Odesky, who was also traveling, Jody Passoff, Marty Unger, and Sam Weinstein, who you may see running in at any moment. At any moment. But again, I'd like to publicly thank them for the job they do. It's a great committee. So, as Fred said, this year's total grants of $400,000 is the highest to date, and 37% higher than the last year's grants total. So we're really pleased about that. At $1.25 million in the first 5 years, and giving to 51 organizations, we're really seeing this foundation move into the sphere that certain people thought that it could move into. Each year, the process begins in July, and each year it's been growing. We talked about the money at this point, but also this year we had 93 letters of intent submitted to the organization, and they are submitted by August 15th. That 93 LOI content was up 26% from the previous year, and that number was up 30% from the previous year. So it's amazing how word is proliferating, and the BallenIsles Charities Foundation is being recognized both within BallenIsles, but more importantly within the organization community that we're serving. Okay. The LOIs are reviewed individually by a subgroup of the Grants Committee early on during the summer, and a decision is made. Typically, the decision is a tough one as to whether an organization should be asked to submit a grant application. This year, 45 organizations were asked to submit an application. Once applications are received, a member of our grants committee is assigned to organizations, and that committee member visits each of the organizations. I know all of the recipients out there will probably meet one of the committee today that may have come out to your organization. After the visit, an evaluation is completed, and their thoughts and recommendations are presented to the entire committee for discussion. This is a tough process. There are so many worthwhile organizations working very hard to provide food, shelter, education, and services to so many in need. This year, we've selected, as Fred said, 34 organizations to receive grants. The grants fall into 4 categories: civic, education, environmental, and health and human services. The breakdown this year in those categories is this. We have 3 within the civic category, and they will receive just a little over $33,000. Education has 11 recipients, and they will receive over $126,000. The environment has 1 recipient this year for $18,500. And Health and Human Services, as it has been in the past, has the largest number of organizations at 19 this year that will receive over $222,000. If you do the math, that'll add up to $400,000 and slightly more. Now, let me go back for a second, because one of the other things that I was really glad to see this year is we have 9 new grant recipients this year. So it's not all of the same people that may have received a grant last year or the year before. In 2 of the largest categories, education and health and human services, the breakdown is as follows. In education, the number of new recipients of the 9 is 2, and the total, as I showed before, was 11. How does that break down? Well, in the education category, it's 6 schools, it's 4 after-school programs, and 1 music instrument program with the Symphonic Band of the Palm Beaches. Health and Human Services, the largest of the 2 groups, has 7 of the 9 new recipients, and 19 in total. How does that break down? Well, there are 5 programs to feed the hungry. There are 3 programs to clothe children, 2 programs for children with emotional or physical problems, 2 programs to assist mothers and infants, a program to provide dental care, free dental care for children, an Alzheimer care consultant program, a program that supplies medical equipment to people that either cannot afford it or don't have the insurance to cover it, A program to provide temporary shelter to those in crisis. A program to provide assistance to veterans. In this case, it happens to be short-term financial assistance when they encounter difficulties. A program to support trauma-induced mental illness. A program to support families with children in the hospital. And we can touch upon these in just a moment. But that's what makes up the two largest categories of the four this year. Who are they? Who's getting the grants? In the civic category, it's the Palm Beach Gardens Recreation Department, and we're sponsoring what's now become known as the BallenIsles Performance Series. It's put on once a year, it's free to the public, and we think it's a very worthwhile cause and different sometimes than feeding people or clothing people. Palm Beach Gardens Fire Rescue, which is represented here today, and the Palm Beach Gardens Police Department. And I will just make a comment that I can't thank both of those organizations enough for what they do for Palm Beach Gardens and what they've done within BallenIsles as well. In the environmental category, Bush Wildlife Sanctuary, and if you haven't been there, I would urge you to go. It's a great organization, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. In the education area, the grant recipients, the 11 are Alamanda Elementary School, Boys and Girls Clubs of Palm Beach County, Dwight D. Eisenhower Elementary School, First Tee of the Palm Beaches, Habitat for Humanity, and the Seminole Ridge Construction Academy program. Inlet Grove Community High School, which is new. And of that new program, what they're doing is providing after-school mentoring to allow the high school students, as they move on, to move out into the world with even more background on math and sciences, for example. Jack the Bike Man. A lot of people in the room may know of Jack the Bike Man. He's become a little bit famous, and for the work he does, I think it's exemplary. He's taken inner city low-income children and he's given them the ability to work on something, and it happens to be fixing bikes. And they can earn a bike by fixing X number of bikes. But a lot of people in the room may have donated bikes to Jack the Bike Man. But again, it was a program where we really liked what that organization was doing. The Renaissance Learning Academy, Suncoast High School, Symphonic Band of the Palm Beaches, which I mentioned a moment ago, and Urban Youth Impact. Those are the organizations under the education category this year. Health and Human Services. This is the big one, and it's going to take 2 screens. But we have Adopt a Family of the Palm Beaches, Alzheimer's Community Care, the Caridad Center. The Children's Home Society of Florida is new, but it is the largest private, not-for-profit organization in Florida that's dedicated to protecting children. So that's one that can tug at you a bit. Clinics can help. Feeding South Florida, Feed the Hungry, Grandma's Place, Gratitude House, HASA Ministry, and the Jerome Golden Center, which specializes in behavioral health care services to those in need. To follow that list, National Council of Jewish Women in the Palm Beach area, another new organization, and this is an organization like the BallenIsles Charities Foundation that is made up of all volunteers. And we liked the program because of that, but also because of what they do. And they provide closed closets to the Title I schools in the Palm Beach Gardens area, so that in these schools, when children can't afford clothes, the teachers in those schools can administer clothes to them. Palm Beach County Food Bank, Palm Beach Harvest, another new organization this year, which was really unique for us because we have food banks, but this is an organization that actually takes food that has not been used and gets it into the hands of people that are hungry. So it's prepared food that restaurants may not use or other organizations may not use, but I think the tagline was, they reharvest it. So hence the name Palm Beach Harvest. Quantum House, another new organization this year. And Quantum House is housed on the grounds of a hospital in West Palm Beach, and it's a hospital that has specialty procedures. And parents will come from other places to stay, or have to stay, once their children are in the hospital. And when they're in the hospital, a lot of them can't afford a place to stay. So this is a bit like a Ronald McDonald's house. And we think the program is very worthwhile and does a great job. The ARC of Palm Beach County, the Center for Family Services, the Jacob Zweig Foundation, another new organization this year. What do? They give shoes to children. We heard a story that said 2 brothers. They have to go to school on alternating days because they only have 1 pair of shoes. So we really liked this organization. And the Wounded Warriors of South Florida, a very local organization that was new to us this year. They're really sort of spinning off of the Veterans Hospital, and it's a Veterans Hospital that recommends certain people to utilize the skills of the Wounded Warriors of South Florida. And they, in turn, provide temporary financial assistance. Not a crutch, and it's not long-term. It's enough to move people to the next step if they are in that financial need category right now. So again, that's another new organization for us. And we liked all of the new ones this year. It was easy. It was an easy choice for us. So last year I talked for a long time. This year that's not going to happen. And I know everybody appreciates it. So, but in doing that, I hope that as we're taking pictures and handing out the grants this year, you'll have a chance to mingle with the organizations and learn a little bit more about what they do. So I'd like to thank all of these organizations for the work that they do for our community. It's truly exceptional. And I would encourage everyone here to talk to the organizations and learn more about them. And that may even cross between the organizations as well. I would also like, as Fred did, to thank all of our donors who helped to make this such a successful year and allows the foundation to continue to grow. It's so encouraging to see the base of donors grow. And we're doing that, which is great. I hope you spread the word with other BallenIsles residents if you are pleased with the organizations that we're distributing to this year. It'll help us continue to grow in the future. We'll be calling up each organization in alphabetical order so that you can receive a grant and have a picture taken with one of our board members. And you know, other than to say it's a privilege to have served as the Grants Committee Chair again, I'd like to thank everybody personally. Okay? So I'm done.